Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. In the interest of your safety and enjoyment of today's events, please listen to the following message. According to New York State law, there is no smoking in the event center. For your safety, please note that fire exits are clearly marked by exit signs. Kindly take a moment to identify the location of the fire exit nearest you, keeping in mind that it may be behind you. In the event of an emergency, an alarm will sound and you should calmly and safely exit the building at that time. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. In the interest of your safety and enjoyment of today's events, please listen to the following message. According to New York State law, there is no smoking in the event center. For your safety, please note that fire exits are clearly marked by exit signs. Kindly take a moment to identify the location of the fire exit nearest you, keeping in mind that it may be behind you. In the event of an emergency, an alarm will sound and you should calmly and safely exit the building at that time. Thank you.
I am Grand Marshal Fernando Guzman, and I call to order the commencement of the School of Management of the State University of New York at Binghamton. Everyone, please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. We welcome you to join vocalist Lauren Nash Silverstein in singing the national anthem. Please be seated.
SOM 17, you did it! As president of Binghamton University, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the School of Management commencement ceremony. This is a special ceremony as we bring together our baccalaureate candidates for graduation, as well as their families and their friends. Before we proceed with our program, I would like to welcome members of the Binghamton University Council who are joining us today. Linda Beamer, Catherine Grant Madigan, and James Orban. Thank you. I would also like to introduce our other special guests. They will stand as I call their names. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Donald Neiman, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. James Brochart, Vice President for Advancement. Upaner Dillon, Dean, School of Management. Valerie Hampton, Chief Diversity Officer. Gary Keibel, Alumni Association President. Michael McGough, Senior Vice Provost and Chief Financial Officer. Gloria Meredith, Founding Dean, School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. Pamela Mission, Associate Professor and Faculty Advisor to the President. Joanne Navarro, Vice President for Operations. Thomas Porcelli, Jr., Alumni Award recipient. Ashley Serbanich, Secretary, Professional Staff Senate. Please join me in applauding these special guests today. Let me also recognize all of the esteemed faculty members who have mentored and guided our graduates. Your efforts have been crucial to the intellectual growth and achievements we celebrate today. Will all faculty on the stage and in the audience please rise? Join me as we applaud their support of and dedication to the success of our students. I would also like to thank the Binghamton University Wind Symphony, our vocalist, and the Edward J. Maloney Memorial Pipe Band for their participation in today's celebration. This is a joyous time for all of us. However, in a campus as large as our university, it happens that nearly every year there are students, staff, and faculty who have passed away over the course of the academic year. Our campus is a close-knit community, and we grieve the loss of our young and talented students and of our experienced and dedicated faculty and staff. Please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of them. Thank you. Well, I'm now in my 5th year as president of this great institution, so I guess I'm either a super senior or a first-year graduate student. But over these 5 years, I have learned that our commencement ceremony is my favorite activity of the year. When I see the sense of pride that each of you has in this accomplishment, I can't help but reflect on my own experience when I received my diploma. What I remember was a tremendous sense of accomplishment, as well as relief in completing a long and taxing job. I felt as if I had climbed a mountain and could now look out on a future filled with opportunities. This degree and the knowledge and talents that it represents will enable you to go far. You have proven that you have the broad perspectives to understand and to empathize, that you have the ability and the tenacity to work through difficult challenges, and that you have the vision and ingenuity to develop innovative solutions to the world's problems. As graduates, the possibilities open to you have increased exponentially. Yet as my mother told me when I graduated many years ago, it's not the degree that is important, but what you do with it that matters. So I'm excited to think about what your future holds for you and for our world. However, before you take the next first steps into that future, I hope you'll take some time to savor your accomplishments and especially to reflect on what this means to your friends and family. Share your happiness with them, introduce them to your professors, and spend tomorrow walking through the nature preserve. Take pictures and soak up some sun on the Peace Quad. 10 or 20 years from now, when you reflect on your time at Binghamton, these are the people and places that will mean the most to you. And tonight, go to a good restaurant. Mom and Dad are paying. And enjoy a long meal in celebration. But most of all, be sure to tell everyone how much their support means to you. Give everyone a big hug, and before you go to sleep, be sure to think about all the great moments, the signposts that led up to today. The future starts tomorrow, but today, let's relax and have fun. You've earned it. It's now my pleasure to introduce Provost Donald Neiman.
Good afternoon. Is anyone out there? Good afternoon. That's better. This is a great day. You have an enormous amount to celebrate, and I am pleased to be among the first to congratulate you, members of the class of 2017. Well done. You are a remarkable group of students. At the time you applied to Binghamton, you demonstrated that you had the academic ability to succeed at one of the best public universities in the United States. And since you have arrived on our campus, whether as a freshman or a transfer student, you have not only shown that you're very bright, you've demonstrated that you're hardworking, intellectually curious, and eager to make the most of what this great university has to offer. You've also shown that you have a wonderful sense of humor, like to have fun, and care about serving others. You embody the balance that makes Binghamton University such a wonderful place to work and to learn. It has been a pleasure to have you as our students. Congratulations on your many accomplishments. I ask that you please stay informed with us and keep us informed of the many, many accomplishments that are in your future. It's now my great pleasure to introduce my colleague and your dean, Upinder Dhillon.
Class of 2017, you are the best. Commencement is a time of celebration, and today we celebrate the success and many contributions of our students. Because of your achievements and those of our alumni and faculty, the School of Management today is recognized among the elite business schools in the nation. The future of business education is creating partnerships with industry to foster experiential learning opportunities. Some of the current opportunities that you've engaged in include the EY Trajectory Program for Technology Consulting, the Jeffries Equity Research Externship, and the Zenith Optimedia Media Project Competition. To integrate knowledge across different areas in management, the school recently introduced the Live Case competition. This year, the entire junior class participated in a live strategy case organized by Mazda executives. The firm offered internships to winning teams. Other exciting outcomes of these experiences include a Binghamton team winning the Ross Business School stock pitch competition, in which they beat competition from Harvard, Wharton, Stanford, and Duke amongst 26 other teams. Binghamton University teams won the first and third places in the Apex supply chain competition. The winning team outscored 28 graduate and undergraduate teams from the Northeast. They will represent us in the international finals in San Antonio, Texas in October. Another team won the regional championships in the Enactus Entrepreneurship Competition and is headed to the national finals today. For the past several years, students from Binghamton have been rated among the best in JP Morgan's Summer Investment Banking Internship Program. This has resulted in a significant increase in the number of students recruited by investment banks, and I'm proud to say that Binghamton stands for excellence, and you are the ones who make it possible. The faculty continue to publish innovative research in elite journals and transform the classroom into a dynamic learning environment. In the last few months, we have had 4 papers accepted in the Accounting Review, the Journal of Financial Economics, the Journal of International Business Studies, and Marketing Science. These are among the top journals where faculty from the best universities across the globe compete for publications. This productivity is one that any school our size would be proud of. This graduation ceremony celebrates years of hard work and dedication to personal and professional growth. Your families have invested so much time, tolerance, and love for your education. In many cases, it is their hard work and sacrifice that has made it possible for you to successfully complete your degree. Please, could we have a round of applause for all the families? It is now time for you to give back to your family, community, profession, and alma mater. We are extremely proud of your success and accomplishments. Your continued support will help us fulfill our vision of being the best. Congratulations, class of 2017. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our speaker and alumnus of the year, Tom Porcelli. Accompanying Tom today is his wonderful wife, Allie, and future Binghamton prospects, Preston and Catherine. It is great to have Tom with us to celebrate the 21st anniversary of his graduation from Binghamton. It almost seems like yesterday that he was a student in my finance class. Tom is Managing Director and Chief U.S. Economist at RBC Capital Markets. His views are sought globally as he travels extensively to present on the U.S. economy and the U.S. markets. He is frequently invited to share his insights on CNBC, CNN, and Bloomberg, and is often quoted in global financial publications. Prior to joining RBC, Tom worked as an economist at Merrill Lynch, where he was responsible for a team for economic forecasting and Fed watching. He began his professional career at the New York Federal Reserve Bank. Tom is actively engaged with Binghamton and is a member of the School of Management Advisory Board. He was the keynote speaker at the School of Management Alumni Networking event last May at the New York Athletic Club. More importantly, Tom is a wonderful friend and generous supporter of the School of Management and Binghamton University. Please join me in welcoming Tom Porcelli.
Good afternoon. And good afternoon, President Stenger, graduates, family members, distinguished guests, and faculty. Saying I was honored to be asked here today is a gross understatement here to the School of Management, the school that I owe so much to. I've been asked to speak at an assortment of events, but frankly, I beamed when I received this invitation. I'd like to start by thanking Dean Dillon for inviting me here today. As he alluded to, I had the great pleasure of meeting him for the first time many years ago when he was simply, though significantly, Professor Dillon. I'd also like to thank Lori Norell, who many of the graduates may not know well yet, but trust me, after graduating, you will. Only we get that, yeah. You will get that soon enough. I think it's, or at least I hope it's appreciated that these two individuals are perhaps the school's greatest benefactors. I truly don't believe that there's a word that better describes them. Just in terms of laying out the groundwork or the framework here, because I know how some parents can get antsy. I remember my father 21 years ago getting pretty antsy, and actually there he is 21 years later, antsy again. I'm going to try to keep my remarks somewhat brief. Hopefully we'll keep it to about 10 minutes. What I'm going to do today is share with you a mix of 5 ideas and observations. I will tell you up front that they work for me. and have informed my thinking, and I hope you can find some application for what I'm going to say. At a minimum, I hope it's food for thought. So we'll ease into the 5 ideas with a short and sweet one: risk, reward, cost, benefit. I get it. For many of you, this notion may force your eyes to glaze over or your stomachs to wrench as you think back on a past finance class, surely not one of Dean Dillon's. But I don't think of these concepts as finance terms. I think of them as philosophical points that underline my life. What is the risk relative to reward? What is the cost relative to benefit? I apply it to everything, from the most mundane to the most significant. Of course, the degree of risk we're willing to take will vary from person to person, as it should. We all have different risk tolerances. But this framework, unlike the process of, sort of creating a list of positives and negatives, it forces you to consider the outcome more holistically. In fact, it forces you to focus more on the outcome. When you create a list of things, you can get caught up in the singular item on the list that ultimately could be distracting. The startup cost here is easy. You can start using it immediately. You can start using it at the Rat tonight. Ask yourself, do I need that extra drink? Though for many of you, I think I know where that risk-reward is skewed. Idea 2, be intellectually curious. The Provost made a comment about this, and I could not agree more. People love to say, passion is really what it takes. I will tell you, coming from what I think is a pretty passionate person, it's not enough. Be intellectually curious. I can only speak about my industry, but I'm sure this applies across the board. Too many young folks have this romanticized vision of what we do in my industry in particular. They think of a salesperson shouting out an order, or a trader saying done. They think of an investment banker speaking with a company's management about an acquisition target or a potential merger. I get it. In your mind's eye, it probably sounds pretty spectacular. It seems pretty spectacular, but I'm convinced not enough students really understand what it takes to truly succeed in these roles. This is not a casual observation on my part. My sample size is actually pretty big on this point, and I've seen it play out numerous times, and in part because of this, the outcome recently has been young analysts leaving the industry in its entirety. So what to do? I think we have to be honest with ourselves about what skills we bring to the table, and if those skills are critical to succeed in the job we want. I think a fair way of understanding this is to ask yourself, how intellectually curious have I been about the things going on in this industry? And here's an example of what I mean. I love to ask young analysts about the Fed and what they think the FOMC will do and what they think they should do. 2 very distinct ideas. More times than not, I get the Wall Street Journal answer or the Economist magazine answer. Basically, they regurgitate something they read in those publications. If I'm being honest, responses like that make me cringe. In my humble opinion, the best responses are those when you can tell the candidate actually thought about this on a higher level. Philosophically wondering aloud, well, do they really need to raise rates at all? And then they rattle off rationale for why the Fed doesn't need to do a thing. And please keep in mind, I do not need the answer to be the right answer or in line with my own view. I'm just looking for higher level thinking. And I'm telling you, I've seen many students come into our offices during recruiting events that haven't the foggiest idea what they are doing in our offices. And please keep in mind, in most instances, these students are business majors and they have great backgrounds and amazing grades, and they check off most of the right boxes. But in more students than you might realize, you can see in their eyes that they really do not know why they are in front of you. Yes, they are competitive and they want to win the job. But I'm often left wondering, do they really want this job? I believe when you start wondering about the path you want to go down in higher level terms, when your approach evolves into intellectual curiosity, that's when you know you're in the right place. These honest self-assessments are critical for all of us at all levels. We should engage in this along the entire ride. Idea 3, create a little world that you love. I love the life I've created for myself, and I don't mean that as a boastful remark at all. In fact, it's not intended that way. In fact, my life may be utterly boring or completely uninteresting to many of you, but I've pieced together these little things in my life that I cherish, and one piece added to another has created this collection of pillars that I adore. Yes, there's my job, and I have to say I wake up every day excited to go to work. I actually have dreams about work. Perhaps that means my life is fantastically boring. If that's the case, so be it. Idea number 2 is to blame and help me arrive at this place. But what I do for a living is a fraction of my life. The thing I love most about my life are the people I have in it. You know, one of my earliest childhood memories is getting a haircut. And it just so happens that I got this haircut with this kid that lived next door to us. 40 years later, he's still one of my closest friends. Fast forward to Binghamton, and after arguing about the best way to accomplish our first pledge task with one of my pledge mates, he's one of my closest friends, and he's actually here in the audience. And in between those events and after, I have assembled these people, this small circle of people that in some instances know me as well as I know myself. And that's true because I let them in. There is no facade. There is no impenetrable wall. They know me, and my sense for this idea is that they know me because I'm comfortable with myself and my many, many, many faults. I will tell you in all frankness that this was not always the case. It has definitely been an evolution on my part, and I owe an enormous debt of gratitude to my wife for helping me get there. I will also tell you that I'm a better person today for having gone through that internal evaluation. Idea 4. I love the idea of roadmaps for career and for life. I'm a huge fan, but there's a mistake in their use. Let me first state what I hope is obvious. There are no defined roadmaps. Everyone will find different paths to their points. It's supposed to be that way. And critically, there are no speed limits. There are no restrictions on how slowly or quickly you can get there. One of the most trite phrases is slow down and smell the roses. Why? If you can appreciate the smell of roses going 100 miles an hour, then you should do that. And if you need to do it standing still, then you should do that. There is no right or wrong on this broad approach. And in that vein of a roadmap, I believe a critical overlay is to have your thought process anchored by something. I personally find that eminently useful. But there is an idea about anchoring that is too often underappreciated. I drive down the West Side Highway every day to get to work. And during the summer months when all the boats are on their moorings, on their anchors, at one point during the day, they're facing one way, and at another point during the day, they're facing a totally different direction. It's great to be anchored. Just remember that doesn't mean you have to always be facing the same direction. Lastly, idea 5. As my amazing wife will tell you if you asked, I'm a gut person. I feel things in my gut, and that informs my thinking. And that naturally begs the question, how can you listen to that little voice? How can you find it? And I'm convinced this is the answer. Be a good listener. This is a skill that is severely lacking in too many people. So many of us just want to sound smart, right? Talk over people. I detest this. One of the great afflictions too many people struggle with is they do not listen. It's a massive fault, and I'm struck when I see someone literally interrupt another person in mid-sentence and talk over them to make their point. Why the hell would you do that? This person might be about to unload a great idea on you. It sort of reminds me of a great twist on an old saying. Don't just do something, stand there. Not everything requires a response. So if you don't have the fortitude to quiet your mind and listen to another person talk, then how can you truly listen to your gut, listen to yourself? And that, in my humble opinion, is one of the great failings of professional life in particular, and perhaps of life in general. So as I said at the onset, these are just ideas and observations that I hope will provide some guidance. I'm fond of saying that you can learn something from everyone. Even my worst boss was a great teacher. He taught me what not to do. There's real value in that. And if my comments here today can fit even that backhanded compliment, I'll consider this a huge success. All in, if I were to sum up the essence of my comments and my wish for you all, it could be distilled like this. I wish you a career where you wake up every day excited to get to work, surrounded by a collection of amazing people you have filled your world with, all wrapped up in a life that you love. Make a great life for yourselves. Just make sure you define what great actually means. Congratulations and thank you, everyone.
Tom, thank you for your insightful remarks. As a small token of our appreciation, I want to present you this plaque. It reads, "The School of Management presents this plaque to Thomas J. Porcelli, Jr., class of 1996, in recognition of distinguished service to his profession, his community, and Binghamton University." Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tom, on being Alumnus of the Year and great remarks. We appreciate them. I'm pleased to introduce Gary Keibel, President of the Alumni Association Board. Gary would like to share congratulations on behalf of our Alumni Association.
On behalf of the Binghamton University Alumni Association, it's my pleasure to congratulate you on your fantastic accomplishments. And to celebrate this very special moment, I'm pleased to give each and every one of you a free yet very valuable gift today: lifetime membership in the Binghamton University Alumni Association. You're welcome. This is something truly valuable. You are now a member of an organization with more than 127,000 members in all 50 states and over 100 countries. Your Alumni Association is one of the most important professional and social organizations you will ever join. Believe me, it's a hot ticket. We got almost 4,000 new members joining this weekend alone. I'm sure you've walked around campus at some point wearing a Binghamton sweatshirt or hat at one time or another. As you move on from school today, I encourage you to continue to wear Binghamton on your sleeve. You are now an emissary and ambassador for Binghamton. Your success reflects on the school and other alumni, and the success of other alumni reflects on you. Among our many accomplished alumni are CEOs and senior management at leading corporations, leaders in the financial and legal industries, the most talented engineers, nurses, teachers, social workers, and professionals of all kinds, as well as media personalities, movie stars, and even a United States congressman. Does anyone here think they can accomplish something similar? Yeah. I look forward to the day when there are posters of you on campus as accomplished alumni. So as you move on today, I ask you to take 3 very important steps. Number 1, make sure that you are always digitally connected to Binghamton. Like us on our Facebook page, join our LinkedIn groups, follow us on Instagram and elsewhere, and visit the alumni page on the Binghamton University website to make sure that your information is always up to date in our alumni directory, Be Connected. We can't find you for opportunities if you don't first find us. Number 2, don't be a stranger. The Alumni Association holds over 70 events a year around the country. Sign up, show up, and have some fun with your fellow alumni. And number 3, make new Binghamton connections. When you come across another Binghamton graduate, use that common bond as an opportunity to open a door. Tell older alumni how amazing campus looks. I'm giving the same message to all 4,000 graduates this weekend. You and I are now connected forever, and I'm looking forward to connecting with my new 4,000 best friends. You're a Bearcat for life, and I am honored to be in the same Alumni Association as you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gary. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our student speaker, Will Rayfield. Will's passion is marketing. Since coming to Binghamton as a transfer student from Suffolk Community College, he has founded a marketing, advertising, and web designing consulting business, served as social media manager for the Student Association, vice president for communication of the Binghamton University Marketing Association, and was a member of the Public Relations and Fundraising Committee for Delta Sigma Pi Professional Business Fraternity. In his spare time, he is a public speaking lab consultant and head of marketing operations for the Emerging Leaders Program. He has leveraged his business degree at Binghamton into a full-time position as assistant strategist for PhD Media, an innovative global communication and media buying firm. The firm has the world's fastest growing and most awarded media network. Will is committed to helping others and finds mentoring as one of his most rewarding activities. Please join me in welcoming Will Rayfield.
Opportunity. What does that word mean to all of you? When looking up opportunity, it has a lot of words associated with it, such as luck, chance, moment, and possibility. It broadens the meaning and understanding of the word and only begins to explain how being on this stage is more than just an opportunity I dreamed of when I transferred to Binghamton almost 2 years ago. This word has played a key role in allowing all of us to be in this room right now. Binghamton University has truly been a place where an opportunity can blossom into something special. It took opportunities from people such as family, friends, faculty, and others who might not be here today to help us get us where we are. So I'd like to take a minute and give a round of applause to everyone here today who's played a role for all of us. For myself, I'd like to thank my mom and dad, up in the box, who when I was a baby, took me in and adopted me. Being the single most important reason I'm on this stage today. Mom, from a young age, you've always cared about me being safe, and that's something I've truly grown to appreciate. Dad, you've never questioned the risks I've taken, just encouraged me to continue doing what I was doing. I could talk about you two forever, but I want you to know that I am the person I am because of you. You don't get as much appreciation as you deserve for adopting 4 of us and raising us as nothing less than your own, along with Mike. So for all that, thank you, Mom and Dad. To my brothers and sisters, you've all played a role in encouraging me or just being there for me if I needed something. Yes, we may always joke around and refer to ourselves as United Nations due to our diversity. And no, that's something I would never change. I thank my entire family for helping me throughout this journey that has only just begun. Of course, even with all the help of our families, friends, and faculty, we ultimately had to take full advantage of these opportunities ourselves. A quote from Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Outliers, has always stood out to me. He said, "Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good, it's the thing you do that makes you good." We as students have had to work extremely hard to earn these opportunities, and ultimately it's been up to us to decide whether to pursue them. At times, we question the decisions that we've made, but we need to realize we are still here. Even after making those tough decisions, we're still alive. Why do I say this? I'm saying this because going forward, we'll be facing decisions that are going to seem next to impossible to make. But we need to realize that we've been making these decisions all along. The next decision isn't going to be the one to take us down. It should be the one that propels us into wherever the future has in store. Yes, it's likely that within a year or two, we'll be doing something completely different. We know we are creatures of change, and it has nothing to do with our ability to commit, but more about our desire and willingness to be challenged with new opportunities. We need to embrace these moments with a similar mindset to the one we've had here during our time at Binghamton University. Opening myself up to trying new challenges 2 years ago while I was still at community college is a driving force for why I'm at Binghamton University, but especially why I'm standing on this stage today. We're all different, and that's something great about college because it brings us all together. I used to be shy and quiet and kept to myself before I started college. Anyone who knows me now would never believe that to be true. For me though, Binghamton University has offered endless amounts of resources and opportunities to better learn about myself. Whether it was joining Delta Sigma Pi, taking a leadership role within Binghamton University's Marketing Association, or working with students as a consultant in the public speaking lab. We must continue to be willing to place ourselves in uncomfortable situations because it's truly how we learn what we're made of and how far we can push ourselves. If we continue to take these chances, who knows what the future might hold for us. Now, think back to what the word opportunity means to you. It doesn't need to mean anything different, but hopefully it means a lot more to earn an opportunity. Hopefully it shows you that the decisions you are facing today aren't as big as they might seem. They are opportunities. So let's face these opportunities with an open mind and be confident with whatever our decisions are. It's okay if we fail, because that's the key way we learn and grow to be more successful. Use this moment as a chance to reflect on what it is you're passionate about. We aren't promised tomorrow, and if you had to look back on everything you've done up until now, would you feel that you lived your life in the way that you wanted? Regardless of how you answered that question, let's enjoy this next journey and not worry about exactly where we see ourselves in the next 20 to 30 years. Coming from different backgrounds, it took different opportunities to get us all here, and it should be celebrated. I want to thank everyone in this room, but more importantly, I want to thank all of you, my fellow students, for making my 2-year opportunity here as amazing as it has been, and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Will. That was great. At this time, we will recognize the accomplishments of our baccalaureate degree candidates. Dean Dillon, please come forward for the presentation of our baccalaureate degree candidates from the School of Management.
Before we recognize the accomplishments of our baccalaureate degree candidates, we will first recognize students who've achieved Latin honors. Latin honors are based on a student's cumulative grade point average. We recognize 3 levels of achievement: cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. The names of candidates for these honors appear in the commencement program. We will not announce each by name, but we shall recognize students attending today by having them stand. Candidates graduating cum laude, please rise. You may be seated. Candidates graduating magna cum laude, please rise. You may please be seated. Candidates graduating summa cum laude, please rise. You may be seated. My congratulations to all of you on your outstanding academic achievements. Will the undergraduate students in the School of Management please rise? We will be recognizing the dual degree program students on the platform after this. So please, all the students from the School of Management, please rise. President Stenger, as Dean of School of Management, I'm pleased to present to you these candidates who fulfilled all their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Student Marshal Shiva Masoodi and School Marshal George Bobinski, please lead the first group of candidates to the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Shiva Masoodi. Ryan Floyd. Alexa Cunnian. Nicholas Trigger Franklin. Spencer Roman. Elan Zabaida. Katrina Morozov. Stephanie Asaro. Alexander Muniz. Cesar Brito. Diego Dilon. Paul Cohen. Logan Abrams. You tell me when. Stephanie Goldberg. Patrick Thorne. Faith Rittenberg. Justin Grapel. Stephen Mandeville. Jesse Gruner. Jack O'Brien. Sean Coyle. Michael Tabaco. Thomas Bagansky. Ryan Marto. Dylan Robinson. Giorgio Joseph Vidal. Zachary Ungar. Jacob Green. Zachary Alexander. Yael Smolar. Bennett Feuerstein. Cesar Sitt. Stephanie Horowitz. Corey Speakmaster. Susie Speakmaster. Bruce Cook. Wayne Burkle. Justin Jacoby. Stephen Bangastein. Samir Baya. Dominic Piscitelli. Daniel Semino. Joseph Ferrandino. Austin Gustaitis. Diana Obrisky. Delaney Ratsky. Victor Ogenbar. Megan Sheldon. Corey Dietrich. Colleen Dietrich. James Barron. Manthan Patel. Matthew Gold. Ryan Baymack. Rick Mechanic. Jake Goodman. Brian Sinensky. Tyler Russell. Shelby Cohen. Stephen Gallo. Matthew Montanez. Justin Burnett. Vishnu Nagaraj. Chris Kronitzer. Nathan Ripley. Marcus Deere. Thomas Dale. Marissa Tarson. Ashley Joes. Alex Lamb. Gita Rankoth. Zulika Thompson. Nicole Mellon. Devin Moose. Aaron Chung. Mary Simonetti. Candace Kaplan. Morgan Dinkelman, Jennifer Mason, Mackenzie Burnside, Michael Curry, Kevin Rasulo, Yin Ing Chen, Derek Liu, John Rinaldi, Jesse Parker, Garrett Waldron, Leanne Bennett, Gabrielle Brocky, Taylor Mormon, Sydney Sherman, Sabrina Lowy, Alice Liang, Nicholas Stallone, Robert Abrams, Cody Putterman, Jessica Wiggins, Elaine Rodriguez, Elise Ofrichtig, Matthew Yoli, Cindy Tian, Katie Yao, Annie Liu, Tina Lee, Jean Ni Zhao, Sandy Wang, Carney Zheng, Shi Guang, Nicholas Young, Justin Gordon, Lindsay Dugan, Mitchell Mann, Josh Kotler, Daniel DePinto, Hannah Hirsch, Brandon Hohenberg, Sarah Safir, Laura Aversano, Julia Sciortino, Kayla Miller, Wyatt Chartrand, Patrick Ferrier, Michelle Goldhirsch, Julie Schwartz, Andres Totzer, Michael Shatas, Benjamin Posthill, Adam Pitkin, Patrick Varelli, John Gallagher, Justin Carmelo, Danielle McLean, Siri Kralka, Scott Petruniak, Daniel Wong, Thomas Casey, Richard Hoffer, Jake Aronoff, Joshua Gordon, Daniel Greenberg, Andrew Stupak, Jason Brodsky, Haley Newland Wagner, Austin Seaman, Danielle Salmon, John Cruz, Daniel Manning, Joseph Powers, Eric Hurd, Tyler Catarino, Gina Gardini, Austin Garrison, Kevin Oberman, Tasha Matthews, Reem Huihishal. Daniel Schuster. Jacob Levine. Neil Harris. James Quo. Lauren Silberstein. Desborn Villarreal. Samantha Thomas. Jacqueline Gershik. Gina Marie Licata. Delaney Madison. Allison Tosh. Robert Pym. Liam Hayes. Kyle Alexander. Amanda Martinez. Ya-Fen Huang. Amber Chia. Spencer Gordon. Tyler Mazuka. Jasmine Kaneja. Kimberly Flores. Yelena Glossman. Thomas Keating. Kyle Zier. David Fitzgerald Nowie. Matthew Bickoff. Austin Shapiro. Robert McKenzie. Mitchell Anderson. Connor McGrath. Fred Mary Vargas Leon. Carolyn Cardalicchio. Sarah Whitney. Lauren Nee Bukala. Natalia Martir Osova. Danielle Carlino. Claire Luceri. Noah R. Brenner. Jessica Beccarello. Isabella Benayoun. Melanie Jasper. Adele Borby. Nicole Busso. Damian Chan. Dion Fraser. Shannon McAdams. Nicole DeSantis. Christopher Buddy. Nathan Dodge. Michael Ring. Krista Paula. Thomas Burke. Hunter Reiter. Andrew Choa. Evan Pritziolis. Christian Lizama. Yun Zhu. Jia Wei Liu. Jirui Zhao. Sihuan Zhao. Chandler Paul. Adine Fuchs. Christina McGovern, Fabian Perez, Devin Ring, Gloria O, Kunjae Shin, Alexa Mendoza, Sean Uden, Ryan Igo, Brendan Havner, Alex Dars, Joshua Yamuter, Joshua Neustatter, Aaron Brown, Max Grippo, Yu Tong Mei, Dominika Walensky, Moshe Ohana, Joshua Fischler, Haley Ehrlich, Jason Weber, Shruti Sharma, Melissa Guarino, Sam Clark, Devin Squires, Thomas Watt, Jim O'Brien, Kieran Riley, Susanna Friedman, Christina Bregner, Stephanie Mungrew, Jamie Kitsis, Fred Nortman, Jordan Sklar, Ryan Tarasoff, Kathleen Brule, David Poritz, Michael Contegni, Rohit Kapoor, Jishun Tan, Shu Yi Yin, Yida Zhao, Han Chao Zhang, Wei Qing Wan, Wu Qian Chen, Nanwei Yu, Allison Sullivan, Rachel Ehrenrich, Jennifer Hahn, Samantha Hernandez, Jasmine Wexler, Brittany Pickett, Matthew Lamott, Xiaoding Shen, Jiaxin Yin, Ting Ting Zhang, Ka Chong Chiu, Yi Li Qian, Ka Yu Yan, Sophie Xu, Sarah Chin Hua Zhan, Ting Sui, Hui Zhang, Juji Zheng, Salvatore Costa, Kishan Patel, Douglas Notaris, Gregory Rueda, Ryan Miskett, Hannah Hauser. Amy Liang. Sarina Lee. Alex Stern. Luke Gorman. Christopher Clark. Tyler Keach. Nicole Candelora. Amanda Forrest. Olivia McFadden. Jordan Luck. Junggu Cho. Min Kyu Kim. Anthony Soto. Vladislav Dovgan. Jake Stegner. Thomas Jenslinger. Eli Jossen. Kyle Gerpo. Desmond Mullins. Sarah Kumar. Olivia Jackson. James Scott. Tet So. Shanshan Tang. Jason Steinfort. Chris Millie Rodriguez. Jun Ha Park. Junior Lee. Matthew Diamond. Aviv Gaalchi. Eli Schwartz. Brian Marks. Gregory Spreckman. Cody Dick. Jody Schwartz. Jared Silberlust. Rachel Smith. Chelsea Gemma. Monica Rivera. Jemily San Louis. Alexandria Trouvé. Sarah No. Tyler McDonald. Ega Sanchez. Adil Khan. Daniel Colden. Carlos Ramia. Hamidul Ghani. Jonathan Herbstman. Ryan Gallagher. Justin Petronani. Tristan Cheng. Matthew Gitto. Daniel Graziosi. Jake Oppenheim. Miranda Wasserman. Laura Dwyer. Jake Giladi. Esty Lodge. Richard Mathers. Pei Yu Zhang. Emily Samyi Cheng. Jenny Yang. Shue Chang. Gavin Liu. Leslie Park. Elaine Lee. Ronald Cheung. Anita Wong. Irina Hayashi. Mo Zhang. Justin Sukha Wu. Tony Lin. Patrick Chan. Dylan Ma. Thomas Kirk. Maria Chrysanthem. Quinn Hennessy. Michelle Ernst. Bridget Cohen. Christine Miners. Lital Sarig. Nicholas Gianitelli. Samuel Debessay. Brian Hopkins. Ariel Merzadeh. Christopher Hyunchul Yoon. Jackie Zhen. Adrian Kim. Ray Yong Yu. Lin Ying Yi Lee. Karen Shao. Wei Ji Liang. Wilson Wu. Henry Lin. Jonathan Cheng. Sydney Ogunsekan. David Chang. Siting Ma. Nicole Wagner. Roman Koplik. Dakota Carr. Chelsea Landolf. Human Ibrahim. Amy Liang. Sarah Tucker. Brendan Zarkauer. Yuchin Duan. Yanling Jin. Kai Shu. John Whiteman. Grant Holstein. Yojin Xiong. Shara Han. Harry Wu. Nicholas Garofalo. William Rayfield. Joseph Asonich. Gabriel Chan. Matthew Carasillo. Christopher Lowe. Kai Chen Peng. Cody Butt. Michelle Lin. Miji Lee. Alicia Kam. Janet Chan. Kevin Ng. Andrew Chin. Jasmine Rodrigo. Kyle Stim. Blaze Stim. Jem Chitingush. Rasman Tuhungnian. Jordan Butler Turner. Isosa Egareva. Paul Awusu Ajay Ofei. Nanjang. My voice is going. Yeah, you stay, I go. They're going to have a faculty member read because he ran the program or something. I think that's what he said.
At this time, we will recognize the accomplishments from the School of Management's May 2 Dual Degree Diploma Program. Dean Dillon, please join me for the presentation of our baccalaureate degree candidates from the School of Management's May 2 Dual Degree Diploma Program.
This year marks the 10th graduating class from the Binghamton University Middle Eastern Technical University Dual Diploma Program. President Stenger, as Dean of the School of Management, I'm pleased to present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all the baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Will the students from the dual degree program please rise and please make your way to the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Mert Koşar, Serdar Altıngök, Evren Manzak, Ahmet Yıldızbaş, Melike Bal, Merve Çevikol, Seda Önal.
Will all the baccalaureate degree candidates please rise? Everyone. President Stenger, I am honored to present to you these candidates for the baccalaureate degree by the university.
For those who have successfully completed all degree requirements by the authority vested in me by the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, I confer on each of you the appropriate baccalaureate degree with all the rights and privileges accompanying it. On behalf of Binghamton University's community, I congratulate you all on this well-earned accomplishment. As is customary, upon conferral of the baccalaureate degree, you may now move the tassel on your cap from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, partners, and friends, I present to you the Binghamton University School of Management graduating class of 2017.
Everyone, please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats as we sing the Binghamton University alma mater. We invite everyone to join in singing the refrain and second verse, The lyrics may be found on the back cover of the commencement program.
In the rolling hills of Binghamton, 'neath ever-changing skies, where two gently flowing rivers meet, we form our cherished ties. Oh, Binghamton, we carry thee with us for all our time, and through us individually, forever may you shine. Together we spend these years, united in our aim. Through our bold pursuit of excellence, we proudly bear your name. Oh, Binghamton, we carry thee with us for all our time, and through us individually, forever may you shine. Forever may you shine.
The spring commencement proceedings of the State University of New York at Binghamton are now concluded. We kindly ask the audience to remain seated for the academic recessional. Once the academic recessional is completed, please exit as soon as you are able to allow the families of the next ceremony's graduates to enter.
Thank you.